Yo, what's up? Coffee Jones.
Yo, Bonafide, Carter.
We are GRITS. Y'all knew that.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is part 2 of us kind of taking a journey through our body of work. Talking about factors a little bit, which is, I think, the one record that consistently comes back as people's favorite when it comes to the older stuff. You know what I'm saying? Besides Art of Translation, because Art of Translation was way later.
That was our posse record.
But factors,
yeah, we introduced the crew on that. You know.
Verbs, you know what I'm saying? DJ Form.
Old Dog.
Madge, DJ Madge. No, he didn't start with Toby Mac. You know, everybody, yeah, Old Dog, which was, it's still, that's Otto. You know what I'm saying? That was like, we had our little chord, you know. And, I mean,
Pigeon John
was a
collab.
Yep.
LPG.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Did do a collab with them.
Wow.
I mean, we was deep by then. That was only second record. I mean, for us, it was like, that was like a record full of superstars to us. Because these cats, we liked up with these cats, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was just really a breakdown, you know, a breakdown of what gospel rap means. You know, we never wanted the title, you know, still don't. Because the title comes with stigmas that don't really represent us in that way. Right. You know, I mean, I think what we were doing with Factors was introducing others to people like Verbs. You know, that's when Verbs and all the cats, all the Innergate dwellers, you know what I'm saying, we introduced people to different people that was out, you know, which has always been our heart is new people. That's why you rarely see us on a record with people. We always introduce somebody new when we did a record. I think, like, we always featured a new singer, a new rapper, or somebody new to the game. We always did that. It took us a few records to get Toby to jump down like that. Not really. You know what? He was on Why. Show Me Why.
That's right.
He did. Factors was probably one of my favorite records too. I think it was one of our most emotional records.
Yeah.
Cause you had Blame It On You. You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of more of our foundational. Like, Mental was more experimental.
Yeah.
It was our first time, you know, getting our feet wet and really understanding the inner workings of studio and, you know, the mechanics of making a record. Factors was like, all right, we here. We here and we about to establish this thing, you know, so.
This is what we're gonna give y'all. Soul music. It was hip hop soul music.
Factors was more of creating our sound.
Right.
Like, you know, us.
Which had hints of jazz, hints of neo soul, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, but still with, I think we did a lot more programming as far as drum wise. When we got into Factors, I think there was a lot more DJing in Factors too. You know what I'm saying? We started bringing that element to it, and I mean, lyrically, the evolution. You know what I'm saying? I think we began to get deeper, more personal, actually.
More personal, and we became more musicians on Factors.
Yeah,
you know, versus, you know, Mental was more people made tracks and we kind of gave input. Factors, it was like we were creating our own sound.
Yeah,
and, you know, in the studio, like, I didn't know the first thing about playing the piano, but I was on the piano. I like this ding, 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 ding. That sound cool. Somebody make that work.
Right.
Make that make sense.
That was us cutting our teeth as producers. You know what I'm saying? We knew what we wanted, and that's what we were shooting for. So, I mean, I think we definitely achieved that. You know, we got into more addressing, like I said, it was more personal, addressing more personal issues and things like that. Even opening our lives up to people, especially on songs like Blame It On You, going through different relationship problems.
Not being afraid to, you know, just be real for a change.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when we came in the game, it was all about, well, you have to speak a certain way, and, you know, for them to accept you, and you know, your album covers have to look a certain way to be placed in the Christian bookstores, and, you know, and then at that point, we were just like, what's the point if we can't be us?
Right.
You know, not to the point of hanging ourselves, say, like a certain diva-ish rapper, but, you know what I'm saying? But being real enough to where it's like, you know what, this is natural. If you can't get with it, you know, that's on you. But this is my music, it's honest, you know, it's in God's hands.
Yeah. And plus, I think we had a little pressure on that one too, because that we had to sit down with the label talk. You know what I'm saying? They were like, we don't know if we're gonna do another record. You know, so I think that added to us getting more personal on Factors, because we didn't know if that was gonna be our last record or not. So we was like, before we leave, we're gonna make sure people know who we were and who we are. And I think that's what we did, you know.
So 10 years from now, you'll at least know this record.
Right.
If it all ends today, you know, we left our mark, you know.
Exactly. And that turned into, you know, 10 albums later, you know, or 9 albums later, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely, Factors is still one of my favorite joints too, for all those.
And it was like each record we did was like our history, like each record we did was doubling what the last record did.
Right.
You know. And yeah, so it was just like, you know, it was just all natural for us. You know, it wasn't like we went into it for the sake of making hits, because
I think too, people don't know is that the video we shot on Factors, we did Alcoholic Plagiarism, which is another fan favorite, you know what I'm saying? My favorite, one of my favorites too. We shot that video at the basement part
of our
apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Which we weren't allowed in there.
Exactly.
But somebody left the door unlocked.
For some reason, somebody left the door unlocked, and we was like, we're gonna shoot the video in here.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy down there too.
So, and then it was crazy because the cops came out. Yeah, we got a call about some gang activity, and we like, gang activity? I'm like, dude, you see all these cameras and lights? We're shooting a video right now. Ain't no gang activity. So that was a trip going through that. I think another thing on Factors too is when we began to get even more press outside of the CCM industry, you know, because that's when we was doing, that's when we started getting into doing like Rap City, you know what I'm saying? I remember us going on there, even though on Mental Releases, we did get press out of The Source and got write-ups and stuff like that. But in Factors, we started getting more
rap pages.
Yeah, we started getting more recognized by the outside hip-hop culture.
We started doing more underground shows too.
Yeah.
Like Elbow Room, Chicago.
You know. Right. Yes. I think that's what propelled us to be able to do a third record, was because it was like, okay, the label realized, okay, wait a minute, these guys are actually getting really good critical acclaim from all ends, whether it was our own genre and outside of our genre. And so, kind of like when it started coming time to make Grammatical, which is our third record, it's called Grammatical Revolution, it was like they was ready as a label to really get behind us, like really legitimately. As you can see when you look at the packaging changed. With Grammatical, we actually had a real photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? When we did Factors, the photo shoot was on the road. We was on a tour, and we just took pictures while we was out on the road. And matter of fact, that cover picture, or the headphones and the dude, that was actually me sitting in our kitchen. And you know what I'm saying, in our kitchen,
made it that blue note.
Yeah, it's more of a blue note feel.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'd like to hear from you guys. You know, if you had any questions about Factors of the 70s or any albums that we've done, you know, I mean, we'd be interested in just hearing and answering to the best of our abilities. Because we're taking a walk down memory lane right now. So it's just, we giving y'all the synopsis of what it really was, you know. Those are huge chunks and eras of our lives. So, you know, I'd like to hear some of your thoughts and maybe some of the songs. And, you know, if you want to know what a certain song meant, because back then we were even more metaphorical than we are now. You know, like we was literally talking in code on some songs.